Pam, isn't this the most amazing day? I mean, look at this blue sky, and this lake is like glass. I'm so excited that our friends invited us to come and experience this. And Sweets is out in the kayak, and he's just floating in the center of this beautiful lake. But it wouldn't look like this. You remember the storm the other day?
Yep.
Oh my! What was the sky? Was it blue like this?
It was black.
It was black?
Yep.
And what would we wouldn't look like a glassy lake. It would be waves crashing up and hitting the side of the boat and probably smashing Sweets in the face. I mean, it was, and what else?
Yeah.
Thunder and lightning.
Yes.
Have you ever been scared of thunder or
Yes.
lightning? Yeah.
Yes.
You know, Pam, guess what? It reminds me of a story out of Matthew 14. Actually, it starts in verse 22, but right before that, Jesus had just finished feeding over 5,000 people. He's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And anyway, and so he sent his disciples out onto a boat, kind of like this. The lake was smooth, and he went and prayed. Well, then, in the middle of the evening, in the night, the storm blew in. Black clouds, waves are smashing the boat, and the disciples were afraid, but they didn't know what was going to come, because all of a sudden, they saw a man walking on the water towards them, and they were like freaked out. They thought, oh my goodness, it's a ghost. But Jesus said, don't be afraid, it's me. And Peter, I love Peter for lots of reasons, but Peter said, Jesus, if it's you, please let me know. I'll call me and I will come to you. And Jesus said, Peter, it's me. Peter gets out of the boat and he starts walking towards Jesus. And as long as he had his eyes on Jesus, guess what? He could walk on water. But you know what? He started looking at the waves smashing him and the dark clouds. And he looked down, he took his eyes off of Jesus, and he started to sink. But it's so cool what happened, Pam. You're going to love this. I just know it. Because Peter cried out and said, Jesus, rescue me. And Jesus, you know what?
Yeah.
He reached right down and he grabbed a hold of Peter and he rescued him. And you know what it teaches me? It teaches me that, you know, in storms, we're going to have storms. Have you ever had a storm? And I don't mean dark clouds and waves hitting you.
Tough times.
I mean, like, yeah, hard things, like maybe because you can't start back in school in the way that you thought, or maybe, you know, you don't feel good on a particular day, or a friend is kind of upset with you, and it's a storm. And we, in those storms, try as best as we can to fix our eyes on Jesus because he's our hope. But guess what? Sometimes we don't. And so when we look down and we see our circumstances and we start feeling like, oh, I'm sinking, we can cry out to Jesus and we can say, rescue me. And Jesus reaches right down and pulls us out of that. And it's so wonderful. And you know what? The last thing I wanted to share with you before we have to go is that Jesus was able to walk on water because he's God. Isn't that the most cool thing ever?
And he's God and he's alive today, and that's who we need to keep looking to.
Amen.